obviously, we know what's happened, but can you sort of talk us through it? Do you remember it well, or is it?
Oh, there's something like that. You'll never forget it. You'll never forget it. It's just been over a year now that it's happened, and I still remember it like it was yesterday. But how it happened was I had to pick the ball up from the back of the scrum and break off to the open side. I made it to about the mouth of the scrum, and I got tackled really, really quickly and really, really well, as a matter of fact. And as I went to ground and I placed the ball back, that's when it happened. Sort of hand come over the side of me and sort of pull back on itself, and it's milliseconds we're talking about. So, but yeah, it's it's just, my head sort of went back a little bit. At first, I thought it was sort of my eyelid was turned inside out or something, because it wasn't quite something right, and that's when the pain set in. And after that, it was just I went into shock and don't remember much after that.
Like you say, it was just kind of a few milliseconds, but it's obviously affected your whole life. What sort of is it? It must have just affect kind of day-to-day activities as well.
It affects everything. So from when you wake up in the morning, that's when it starts to get tricky already, because I've got to remind myself, I can't see out of my right eye, and that sort of. But again, once you wake up and you open your eyes, it sort of takes a few seconds to sort of get used to it again. And then after that, it's getting used to it. I had to teach myself a whole bunch of tricks to adapt, because I've got no depth perception. I've got, like most people, you'll have 3D vision. I've only got 2D vision. Everything I go to pick up, I end up short. I have to aim behind it to pick it up. Stairs, I have to physically look for a stair. I can't just walk up it. But you get used to it after a while, and there's little tricks and stuff you teach yourself. But once you get it, it's you just get on with life, really. Yeah.
Did you drive before?
I did.
So
I did.
You can't anymore.
I'm driving now. But I had to go through the whole rigmarole again. I had to do my learners, my theory test. I'm about to do my practical next month. But no, I had to do everything again. Just for my insurance purposes, I need to read a number plate at 20.5 meters away. Obviously, going from the slow lane to the fast lane is tricky because I've got to turn my whole body to see what's coming. But again, things you learn, how to work your neck. I've got wider field of vision than some people because you work your neck and again, little tricks here and there.
What did you think of the punishments? Because it's amazing. Because obviously a lot of people were very shocked by the fact that first no one was actually charged for the incident.
Yeah.
£2,000 didn't really seem like very much. Did it?
Well, as it stands from the RFU findings, which is now a public document and anyone can go and read it, but the RFU found Matt Isles not guilty because of a lack of evidence. Now that doesn't mean he didn't do it, it just means there wasn't enough evidence to convict him. As far as the RFU punishing a rugby club, we didn't actually think the RFU was going to go through with that. But in the same breath, I have to say, we're really surprised that they did, because the RFU showed they're not just bark, they can bite as well. When it comes to the actual penalty, again, we didn't know what the penalties were going to be. A £2,000 penalty, I thought, was a bit on the disgusting side. I'd rather have my eye back than £100,000. Do you know what I mean? But a club that can hold players there, whether they know or not, I mean, obviously that's not for me to say, but they should have been really thumped into the ground to the point where I personally won't be happy till Maidstone closes it does. Simple as that.
sort of obviously, like we said, it's life changing. It's obviously affected everything. Would it put you off letting any children you have play the game?
Yes. My wife always wanted our boy to. She wanted a rugby player. She always wanted the first child to be a boy, and he has to be a rugby player. And I never had a problem with that because me being a born South African, I grew up with a rugby ball. That was religion in our family. Now this has happened to me, I can't allow him to play rugby because, and the funny thing is, my wife completely understands that I won't allow him to play because of what I went through. But again, this wasn't an isolated incident. You know, it's happening more often nowadays, and it comes all the way from the top. The kids today playing rugby sees the international players doing it, and they think, oh, well, if they're doing it and they're getting away with it, it must be right. It must be all right.
When we're doing our research, like, you've seen it in like, the Lions tour, and I remember Shaq Berger doing it to Fitzgerald. It was about 2 minutes in, you saw it, and you can't understand how they can just get a 6-week ban for it.
Exactly.
It doesn't
exactly.
make sense.
I thought that incident was disgusting. Giving him an 8-week ban, I thought, oh, come on, get real. And then, I mean, the South African coach actually said, oh, you didn't do anything wrong. You know, mate, wake up, smell the coffee, come on. But it's almost like it's becoming a fashion trend now. You know, it's cool to gouge these days. What happened to Gavin Quinnell the other day was that was disturbing in itself. And he left it. He lost his left eye. I mean, my sympathies goes out to the man. So everyone always says, "Oh, I know what you're going through." I actually know what he's going through, and my heartfelt sympathies to him and his family. But things like that happen more often. You had Scott Berger, you had the 2 French players, then my incident. Now this one, there's been quite a few gouges across the country, accidental or not accidental, you know, but it's a fashion trend, it's cool to gouge, you know. It is the most heinous crime in rugby, and I don't think the RFU is doing enough to get rid of it. It's one of those things you'll probably never get rid of it.
I think we were sort of talking about this on the way here, you said like something like a spear tackle, it happens, but still, well, obviously in the case it can be very it's not like something very like a calculated sort of where it can happen where it just picks it up and then let it go.
Exactly. When you run into someone and you want to put them on the floor but it's not going down, so you do that little extra to lift them up, and as you lift him up he just topples over. They're trying to sort of get rid of that somehow, but again, the referees can't do anything until after the tackle, and by that time he's broken his neck already. So, but gouging is, you know, I remember the days when people went out on a pitch because they loved to play rugby, because of the camaraderie, the bit of banter on the pitch, you know, even just throwing handbags, you know, all in good spirit, and especially at amateur level. This is not professional rugby. None of us gets paid for it. And to do something like that, it's just, you know, it's not cool.
Are there any sort of campaigns on your part? Are there anything going on?
Not yet. I am trying to set up some sort of campaign to make people more aware of eye gouging, and trying to get rid of it altogether. Again, probably won't happen, but I'm trying to do trying to put something together with my family. My father-in-law is locally well-known rugby coach, and he'll be coaching internationally fairly shortly. So maybe, you know, work together with him. I've got my wife's support, my mum and dad, and mind you, everyone in my family now. We're all trying to put something together and go around to the clubs and raise a bit of awareness about this.
That's fantastic. Well, thank you very much.